Fucking hell.
Ghost, you copy?
Yes, sir.
Any issues?
Negative, sir. Out here.
In the early 2000s, a bunch of developers at a studio called 2015 created Medal of Honor Allied Assault, one of the biggest shooters of its time. The group became dissatisfied with their contract and the lack of control under 2015 studio and EA management. So the team decided to leave 2015 Inc. and start their own studio, which they called Infinity Ward. But Activision saw the opportunity and backed the new team to build a Medal of Honor killer, launching what would become one of the greatest franchises in gaming history, Call of Duty. On October 29, 2003, Activision and Infinity Ward released the first Call of Duty game. It was heavily inspired by World War II movies such as Saving Private Ryan. The campaign allowed players to experience the war through American, British, and Soviet perspectives. The battles felt massive, the storytelling felt cinematic, and the overall experience was intense, chaotic, and much more immersive than most military shooters available at the time. The game became a major success and won several gaming awards, but by the end of that same year, Activision had already gained full ownership of Infinity Ward. In 2005, we saw the first multiplayer in Call of Duty 2 on consoles. While Call of Duty 3 in 2006 was not as successful as the first two games, it was still a solid hit. And honestly, 2007 to 2012, I'm calling that the golden era of Call of Duty, when the game jumped into modern warfare. And then came the hype moment with Modern Warfare, the first game to leave World War II behind and dive into contemporary conflicts. It felt like a fresh start for the franchise. Modern Warfare in 2007 introduced iconic characters like Captain Price and Soap, and its story revolved around fighting terrorism. The multiplayer was on another level entirely. As for World at War, they went back to World War II, but this time they added Zombies mode for the first time. Modern Warfare 2 in 2009 was honestly one of the best in the whole series. They didn't hold back at all. The franchise was one of the top sellers across all series, and the famous No Russian scene
Remember, no Russian.
sparked massive worldwide controversy. Black Ops in 2010 was set during the Cold War, with secrets, surprises, and a strong storyline. Zombies also became more complex and way more fun. Modern Warfare 3, released in 2011, was the end of the Modern Warfare trilogy, and a huge success. And in 2012, Black Ops 2 introduced futuristic elements, and player love grew because of its competitive multiplayer maps. Success after success. And right here, things started to crack.
None of this surprises me.
Jason West and Vince Zampella, the co-founders, wanted to be more independent, build something on their own terms. Activision saw it differently. They called it a breach of contract. They said, West and Zampella were talking to competitors and trying to jump ship. West and Zampella got fired. They said Activision was trying to fire them first, so they wouldn't have to pay out the massive bonuses tied to Modern Warfare 2's success. Either way, both were gone, forced out of the studio they had built. And it didn't stop there. Dozens of top developers followed. They formed a new studio, Respawn Entertainment, where they made great games like Titanfall and Apex Legends. Call of Duty kept going. Other studios took over development, Treyarch and Sledgehammer Games. But something was missing. From 2013 to 2016, the game began to repeat itself and face major problems. Call of Duty Ghosts in 2013 had a weak story with nothing new. We felt constant repetition, with no real evolution in gameplay. Then, in 2014, with Advanced Warfare, the graphics did improve, but the new mechanics like exosuits were super annoying, and the gameplay became more sci-fi and futuristic instead of real war. In 2015, with Black Ops 3, we saw the first appearance of loot boxes and microtransactions in the series, and that was the worst decision they've ever made. In 2016, Infinite Warfare was one of the worst games in the entire Call of Duty series history, and its trailer was one of the most disliked videos on YouTube. Call of Duty Warzone, a free-to-play battle royale game released in 2020, became a peak gaming phenomenon during the global lockdown. Everyone was online and playing. Everyone was enjoying it. But the cracks kept spreading. The hackers who ruined the gameplay, Activision still makes it available to them, and adding an anti-cheat system won't ban them. They ban those who don't use hacks. Greed brought Activision to ruin the franchise, with things like COD points, cosmetic packs, battle pass, loot boxes, and characters starting to show up in neon, cartoonish, fantasy outfits, lightning effects, fire trails, things that definitely didn't belong in a military shooter. Some new players loved it, but the fans who grew up with Call of Duty, the ones who loved it for the grit, the realism, the feeling of being a soldier, Call of Duty stopped being a war game. It became a marketplace, a platform, a live service machine designed to keep you spending. The only thing Activision modernized was the way they extract money from your wallet.